Hello ladies and gentlemen of YouTube. Today I'm going to be showing you guys the basics of Blender Python scripting. That's something I promised I was going to make, at least to some people, and I thought a lot of people would want to do that. Now I am making this for the absolute noobs, the few first tutorials. Beyond that it's going to keep getting more advanced. So to start off, I'd like to show some of the beginners the different Blender versions. Now there are a lot of Blender versions out there. The most up-to-date is, as of now, is 2.62, which you can see over here. So that's the one we're going to be using. Since 2.5, Blender's been using Python 3, which means that if you're using 2.49 for some reason at this point in time, what I'm going to teach you is probably not going to work, or not as much as you'd expect. So do get a newer version of Blender, one that's compatible with Python 3. If you have any trouble running Python, then you probably need to install Python 3. So you can go to python.org to download that. Now I assume you already know where to get Blender since this is a Blender tutorial. Important resources you might want to know about is the blenderartist.org forum. It's pretty good. In the game engine section here you can post some questions. Basically just if you have any trouble later on when you're experimenting with scripting or any other game engine aspect, you can ask questions here. So that's a good resource to know about. Also, Nilunder forum. It's by Goron, and here he has one thing that's very interesting. You can ask a lot of questions here. There's a weekly tutorial section, and here you can request certain tutorials, maybe even advanced tutorials, and he would teach you that. Now, obviously, you have to know enough Python to be able to follow, but there are things like networking and sockets, which he has done recently, portals and matrices. So this is another useful forum to know once you know a little bit of Python. So I just wanted to throw that out. Now, with regards to actual programming, there are two things that I would consider to be a Blender scripter's best friend. The first thing is in Blender. Now let me just make sure I'm in Game Engine. It is the command console. So that would be the first scripter's best friend would be the command console. Now if you're on Windows, you would just be able to click toggle system console and you will see here this window, this black window. Now it used to start off by default in 2.49 in previous versions. I guess they changed that in this one to make it a bit more, I don't know, presentable. So, but if you are a programmer, you will need this, and this is because errors in your scripts will appear over here. It's going to say online whatever, in script whatever. There's this problem. So this would help you with debugging. Now the other resource that I talked about will help you with actually programming. So it will tell you what sort of functions you can use and such. So it is the API reference, and you can access this easily from Blender as well. Using the help menu, you can hit, where is it, Blender API reference or something like that. Python API reference, and this will direct you to this page over here. Now if you're programming for the game engine, you're interested in the game engine modules. Now the ones that I'll be visiting a lot is the game logic. That's probably going to be our main focus for the next few videos. And this has all the logic that has to do with game objects in the game engine and such. Not necessarily all of it, but a good chunk of it. And if you want specific functions for game objects, you can go over here and it will show you things like this stuff. You can see here linear velocity related stuff. There's things like, let me just show you some things that actually, for example, set visible, replace mesh, end object, align axis to vector. These are things you don't need to know right now. Apply movement, apply rotation. But the point is, you can use this for programming, and I will show you how to use it when we actually get to programming, or scripting I should say. So these are the two useful resources that you need to start off. And so that's what I wanted to cover for this video. It's just the basics, an overview to get you to be more familiar with the kind of resources you have, just so you know where to go when you don't know what to do. Now to end this tutorial off, of course, every programming series or scripting series has to start off with Hello World. That's just an ancient tradition of programmers and scripters to teach how to write Hello World. So we're going to go to the game logic view. Now make sure you're on Blender Game, not on Blender Render. It's set to Blender Render by default. So you want to make sure you're on Blender Game, and that just allows you to have all the game engine options and such. So what we're going to do is hit New for a new script. We're going to hit Print, brackets, open and close, and then within quotations, Hello World. And to run this in the console, and it will show up in the console, just hit Alt P. I hit Windows P there, sorry, Alt P. And nothing happens, but if you go to the console, you should see Hello World. You can see I have it here 3 times because I've tested this before, but yeah, it should show up as Hello World. So that will be your first script. Now this is not how you run it in the game engine. In the next tutorial, we will be, yeah, I should stop that zooming in and all that. It does get pretty annoying. So I will be covering basic scripting in the later tutorials to come. So I hope you guys are excited for the Python tutorials. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, and see you guys next time. Also, do subscribe and like if you want more of these videos.